Hello, this is Mark. In this video, I'm going to talk about the benefits of remaining open to the perspective of others. Everyone's viewpoint is beneficial and adds value to the integrity and integration of knowledge as a whole. We all have gone down different paths, obtained, dealt with different events, circumstances in our lives, and we have different aspirations, motivations, and expressions of our genetics, the coding, and everything that's formulated within, the mind and, the body. It's unique and gives us a wide range, different range that is, can have some mergence with our own, perspective. We can come to agreements on, and so, sometimes, there's disagreements, but the thing is, it's not always good to consider or dictate, some knowledge as absolute or absolute truth, because if we don't have the full range of perception, we don't have the full range of knowledge. And, knowledge is essentially an evolving process. By expanding our own perception and being open and being receptive to, multiple different domains, not disclosing, and not discarding, information on the spot, it allows us, it liberates us, it allows us to transcend our current knowledge and open our mind to a different, range of, of ideas and, generation of in-depth knowledge, and even transcend our current level of consciousness and awareness as a whole, because we are fixated in finite space throughout our lives. And if you think of our own individual life, we encounter finite different paths throughout our life. Although we have access to more of the globe as a whole, we can't encounter every single area. That's impossible. We're not achieve that in our life. But you take other individuals that have gone down different paths, and our predecessors included. You take the summation of all the different paths, and you're integrating as a whole, and you get the global picture, and that gives us a range of different ideas, different revelations, different thoughts, different there's always something to learn. Even if you're listening to someone, and they're maybe not be interested in the topic, you can still extract some knowledge, whether it's in by remaining open, accepting. It just allows you, it liberates, it frees your mind, in space. It keeps you from containment, if because for instance, we have in our mind, we do have the finite space. We can't generate infinitely many ideas, infinitely many thoughts. The space is infinite. We have infinite space, but we are in a finite world. We are in a subset of space, but our mind works where it's infinitely free, just like the universe. However, we cannot generate enough to expand our global picture in our mind towards infinitely or absoluteness. But we do have that space, which is it's synonymous with it's all the events, the past time events in our mind, everything, the time, because time is, it's an expansion of space. We have the flow, and just the rate of change, that gives us a perception of time and so forth. And like we're witnessing, like through all the events, we can try, even though it's finite, we can still expand and remain. If we remain open, we're radially increasing the space that is open in our mind, and the knowledge that we can attain, so we can deepen understanding. And anytime you encounter someone and you have an overlap, you may share some similar perspectives, or you have the overlapping of like interests. Usually when you encounter someone, usually it's because, or you have friends, you have overlapping interests, motivations and so forth. With the sharing, and so forth, and being open, it allows you to. It's kind of like a fission reaction. You can. So it's like you have the collision of two thoughts, and then you have the momentum, and it's split. And then you have the splitting. And you can go off in multiple different directions. And that's just with one, circumstance. If you did that with infinitely many people, even though we only have a finite amount of people on this earth, but if that held true, or if you were able to witness that, you would be able to expand space towards infinity, and provided that, everyone was trying to remain open and try to explore, the different avenues and domains. Because we're never going to witness, the entirety of space. That is impossible. Just because our perception is confined, but being open kind of expands, what we can achieve. We recently, we've been able to see the two-dimensional projection of a subatomic, or the particles, which are three-dimensional, and that encompasses, their own space. All the cells, in the body, they have, their own three-dimensional space or worlds. So you have worlds or domains of space, and you have or space within that space, and so forth. And if we're searching in that direction, we can search in that direction, and then you can search, or the micro level, and then you can search towards the macro level. And to a degree, we have that limitation depending on our perception and openness. But like for instance, like if you judge somewhere, you kind of like you deem them as a certain, or provide a value or a certain attribute to someone, or you claim that something is false, or since with atheism they'll be certain that there exists no God and try to argue their claim using science, facts, the basis of their reality and what they have gained or perceived as understanding, and they tend to argue against Christians on the case, and usually the end result is the perception of who was victorious, who had the strongest argument, who had the best claim, who had the most logical response. And the key is to be open to the perspective, use it constructively, not destructively. We have the freedom, we have our mind can go in different directions, orientations, and it's not just by eliminating a belief or a claim, or deeming something as true or something as certain, having absolute certainty. It's not a good process. It's good to be open to these arguments, try to extract meaning, but not to do it in a destructive manner, and not to change the opinions or beliefs of others, because ultimately the freedom, you can't really control others, other people, you can try to, support, build a support system, try to help, but ultimately, we have, freedom and the will to do what we enjoy and set our own paths. So really, there's no point destructively trying to argue or trying to find, who is true, who is, false. And really, we don't have the answers to all these questions. We can't prove everything in its entirety. By being certain, you're essentially closing things off. You're closing away space. You're closing away the possibilities that could exist. It's our minds. We don't know the intelligence. The creation of this whole universe, the orientation of all the planets, the gravitational force, is such that the galaxies, the rotations are ordered. We witness the order, amid the chaos of the subatomic particles, the segregation of all the particles over time has led to the creation of the Earth, the other galaxies, the stars, the fission, nuclear fission, and the fusion, the reactions that occur within the body, the complexity, the programming, all the connections. It's the electromagnetic field that protects, the Earth, and all the forces that we can't even see, we can't witness, and just the immensity of the whole universe. It's just beyond our comprehension. So it's always good to be open to arguing and try to learn something, extract, but not on the basis of trying to control or judge, or even deem the other person as their claims as absolutely false. And it's just do it to try to deepen the understanding, and because ultimately we can hold on to certain beliefs. We have the freedom to do so. So That's just my input on this matter. By remaining open, we can, tend towards infinity, and, infinitely may, the possibilities that exist. And even being open in space, because think about like possibilities that exist out there, like, like people a lot of times, like may want to gain, success, may want to achieve, a goal or so forth, and, may find obstacles along the way that, limit or prevent, you know, or may put you down and, kind of like condense everything. And it kind of seems like gravity's pulling at you at a, more of a force, like you kind of have that heavy burden, of life and all the stressors, it can add a little, a little bit of weight, and you kind of feel, the heaviness and like the, confinement. It's like you're converging towards singularity, and that, that happens with everyone. We have our ups and then we have our downs. We have, the cyclic patterns, everything that, because there's so many different cyclic processes. You got the blood glucose cycle, you have the diurnal cycle, you have the hormone cycle, you have the mood cycle, you have, the event cycle, you have the cycle of businesses going up and down, you have the cycle of, probabilistic events like, you have volcanic eruptions that occur at a different rate that have a sinusoidal, tend to have a cycle. So everything, with amplitude, with force and so forth, we always go through these cycles of life, and, sometimes we'll encounter the lows, but by opening and getting a broad range of perception, it prevents these lows from going towards singularity. And that's, the closure. Singularity is really when, everything, the vibrations that, is occurring from within the subatomic, the entropy, the chemical reactions within the body, the processing rate, the speed at which you're, processing information, everything that's flowing within the body, the flow of the blood, everything, the movement of, the hormones, everything that gives you energy, the events, the external events that give you the motivation, the energy to progress in life. It's expanding this, happiness, joy, laughing, euphoria, and all this, it's liberating. But, when you go in the other direction, you tend to, gain, your outlook becomes more pessimistic, and it's more of a closure, because everything's slowing down. You don't have the processes, that you once had, and it's a very hard, vicious cycle. But, through, and a lot of times, with this, it's the expectations in life, because when the expectations, in life approach infinity, happiness tends to zero, because, like, you should not have expectations outside your own, grasp. And more so just to be content and be accepting of how you were created, and be comfortable in your own skin, because, we all have different skill sets. And if you follow that, if you follow your passions, you're going to be more likely probabilistic, more probable to become successful. And that success, it's, if you think of like we tend to sleep, everyone tends to sleep 1/3 of their day, sometimes less, sometimes more. And, people tend to work 1/3 of their day, 8 hours a day. There's 24, that's divided by 3. Some more, some less. And, we only have 1/3 of life to enjoy. But, if you have the expectations, this and that, and you're always unhappy, and you don't like your work, and, you're not following your passions, everything is going to translate. It's going to translate to your dreams, or your state, where, you're most likely, when you're stressed, not going to have dreams. So, that you're not going to have the vibrance that occurs during your dreams, or the vivid dreams, and you're also, not achieving balance. And then whatever, from your work, it's going to translate, or the negativity, into your other half or third of your life. So, it's always good to, remain open to that space, the possibilities that exist, because if you think about it, like, you only confine yourself. In space, like, if you go out there, if you encompass the entire globe, there's so many possibilities, there's so many confrontations, there's so many people that would give you the opportunity, that would give you a job, that would give you, they find your skill set unique, they're interested in, your persona, of course, not everyone's going to be interested in that. You're going to have interviews, you're going to have failures, and this and that and that. But when you expand the space, even on the global picture, you're going to open opportunities, because you converge towards these opportunities. These opportunities may not always come to you. Of course, some people may come into your life, but if you expand the other direction, your merge, you're going to get the overlapping, and then eventually, this is going to lead to a probable or a possibility that exists, and that's going to be very liberating. So really, it's this, by continually moving forward, by seeking novelty, by expanding the mind, by expanding the consciousness, it allows you to gain the fulfillment. It fills up the if you denote like fulfillment as a cup and you're trying to fill it. Of course, it's proportional to how content you are in expectation. So you're going to gain more of that fulfillment just by being open and content with what you have and so forth. And then you're going to look back at your life, the events that transpired, and you're going to be able to pass on this knowledge and wisdom and so forth. Because that's the key, in life. It's just, going down different avenues and opening up the possibilities. Because everyone may, some people may have a void, that is present. There could be something that, is missing in your life. Something that, it's missing to liberate you out and to open, more space, because, whether it's relational, whether it's, a different interest, a certain interest, because sometimes interests, as you're discovering your identity, you open it up over time, but that doesn't mean it remains static. It's a transient process. You're always encompassing or opening up more space, and therefore you're going to get, encounter more interest or more aspirations, and that's going to lead to more goals and so forth. So it's good to broaden the range, and so forth, and not confine and limit yourself. And of course, everyone has, routines and so forth and habits. And the problem with, stagnation is you get accustomed to certain lifestyle, comfortable lifestyle and so forth. And it seems, sometimes we can take the path of least resistance, and, whether that's going, utilizing or self-medicating and so forth to deal with the problems at hand. But going this route and getting comfortable, it's really confining. You're not, it's like you sleep it's the same time every morning. Eventually your body adapts to that, and you start waking up at the same time without an alarm clock. But when you're in this and you're in this space, and you're always doing the same things, or you're in too much of a routine, it can kind of confine or keep you maintained in that space. So but yeah, everyone's different. It's a spectrum. Some people will be more inclined to build that routine, and some people so forth will go outward. I definitely have, and not immune to that. I definitely form routines and so forth, and I'm trying to get out, because by confining even myself and socially and so forth, and I have the voids that are present, that's in every time, we all have to search for it, and that by filling the voids, it gives us more fulfillment and satisfaction. So yeah, this was just my synopsis, what my viewpoints. Of course, not everything that I say, not everything, this message, you can deem as correct or, correctly stated or so forth. And, I'm open to, even being incorrect. I'm not always right. I don't have all the answers, and a lot of my answers are not my own. For instance, I was a mathematics major, and when we were writing proofs, instead of using a singular noun I, we use we. And the reason for that is the information, everything that allowed us to get to the conclusion, that led us to the conclusion, was not our own knowledge, because we have extracted knowledge from our predecessors, like Newtonian physics, we have Einstein's laws, and these ideas that have been created, we can extrapolate, and we can generate potential new ideas that are projected from the previous domains. But it's not entirely our whole knowledge. It doesn't encompass everything. It's not just unique to us. So basically, yeah, that's why we use, or in mathematics use we instead of I. So it's the same, in actuality. We all don't have all the answers, but by being open to being incorrect, it allows you to, to improve and, progress in life, and, that's very important, because if you shut that off, and you're essentially in confinement. It's just a state of unsatisfaction, dissatisfaction. So yeah, the key is, to get out of that, mindset, that mentality. I've been, you know, in this, these states, of lows, in my life and so forth. And, I've got out of it, and, you know, been able to, liberate myself. But all the knowledge that I have attained, it's definitely helped free my mindset, so that's why I like reading is always good, people who, share similar interests, or can give you, can expand your own knowledge, give you a whole new perspective that you can, you know, it would help you orientate your life, and, and lead down this path of fulfillment. It's not like we're going to, achieve the maximum fulfillment as ideal, like that, such that like every event in our life was, perfect. There is no perfect. We are imperfect. We have defects. Everyone does. If we're comfortable in our own skin, you're going to be more inclined to reach that point, reach or converge towards it. So, yeah, I know I went on a tangent all over the place, but yeah, this was just my viewpoint, and I wanted to express it, and hopefully it's beneficial in some form, and I will try to talk about different ideas that will, benefited me, and hopefully help others, and then I'm open to anyone else's perspective or ideas as well.